Hi, I'm Charlotte White, but you can call me Charlie. Everyone in the Mary Rose and everyone at History Hack does. We thought it might be fun to share a few little videos with you to show you what we actually look like when you hear our voices on the podcast, and to tell you about some books and things that we are particularly enjoying. So I thought I would talk to you about Women versus Hollywood by Helen O'Hara. I can't show you the book because I lent it to my mum. And Women versus Hollywood is the kind of book that you are going to want to lend to your mum, and then your best friend, and then people passing your acquaintance, any women, men, partners, and pets that you know. Because it's the kind of book that gets you talking, and you have to talk about it. It's a frustrating book in that if nobody else has read it, you just want to bore everybody over dinner and talk about it. So Women versus Hollywood looks at the relationship between female creatives and Hollywood as it has existed over the last 100 odd years. Starting out as an experimental art form where women were very much welcomed, especially women with lots of money and artistic aspirations, women who wanted to just have a bit of a punt, travel out west, see what's going on, and have a bit of a play. What then happens is Hollywood becomes an industry, and there's money involved and power structures involved. And very quickly, women are cast out of that because who wants to work for a female boss? Am I right? It's a fascinating read, and I'm always fond of saying on History Hack that I have an expensive film degree. I do. And it's incredibly depressing how few of the women I actually knew in Helen O'Hara's book. I was lucky enough to speak to her on an episode of History Hack with the wonderful Boney, and I'm sure he's going to be the technical guy who puts this in the comments for you so that you can actually listen to it. But Boney and I spoke to Helen O'Hara about it, and I asked her, is it my fault that I don't know who these women are, or is it the fault of the way that film is being taught? The film I was taught in the late 90s, early noughties was very much around the auteur theory, those great men, your Alfred Hitchcocks, your Steven Spielbergs, your Martin Scorseses. And it's a little bit of a fallacy that excludes not only women, but also everybody else who's not the man at the top of the pile. It's a little bit of a fallacy to say that film happens in a vacuum and that it's all the product of one great mind and, let's be honest, one great man's mind. Case in point, if you love Martin Scorsese movies, chances are you quite enjoy the way that they're edited and cut together, the pace of them. Well, that's done by a woman, a long-term collaborator by the name of Thelma Schoonmaker. And I probably pronounced that really, really wrong. But it just goes to show that there are women working in Hollywood. They might not be the most visible, but they are there. Women versus Hollywood also addresses, we need to say it, with the Me Too movement, which is not a particularly nice subject to have to discuss. Oh my God, do I wish we didn't have to. But it also looks towards the future in a really hopeful way. We're looking at more and more women directing movies now. And this is a really exciting time because, when I was studying or when I was growing up and looking at the credits, you would never see a woman directing. It was a very, very rare thing. And I sat down over the Christmas break just gone and, without even meaning to, watched about 4 movies on Netflix and Amazon Prime. So these weren't sort of hidden away films directed by women. So it's got a really hopeful message. Read Women versus Hollywood. It's just out in paperback. It's also been out in hardback by the wonderful Helen O'Hara, and I think she'll make you hopeful for the future. We've now got a Best Director Oscar, so the only way is up, right? Right? Read it and talk to me. Like and subscribe. Give us a follow across social media. I'm on Twitter as Restoration Cake if you want to tell me about some great female-fronted films that you love. Talk to me about it. I want to hear about it. Read the book. Let's hang out.